Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to teach you the basics of animation and using keyframes in Blender. Now, my guess is that you just downloaded Blender and you would like to learn the basics of animation, and that's what this video is going to be concerning. So, to get started, I'm going to go ahead and select the camera using the left click and press X on the keyboard, and then delete to delete the camera. The lamp, same thing here. So go ahead and click the cube by left clicking it. That selects the cube. Now, to animate this this cube, I'm going to make sure we're on frame 1. Press G on the keyboard while the mouse is in this screen. Press G and then move it back a little bit. Left click to set it down right here. Now you want to tell Blender this is where you want this cube on frame 1. To do this, we need to press I on the keyboard, and then we have this menu that comes up. And because we only move the cube, we can say location. We're setting the location keyframe here. So let's just select location. If I had rotated the cube or scaled, I would use one of the other options. Now you'll see a little golden diamond at frame 1. This is called a keyframe. So this tells Blender where the object's going to be at a certain time. So in this case, at frame 1, this cube will sit here. And then if you wanted this cube to move, we would just select a frame. Maybe frame 50 would work. Then press G and move it over here. Set it down by left clicking. Then press I and the location again. What this does is it tells Blender at frame 1 we want the cube to be here, and at frame 50 we want it to move here. Now thankfully we won't have to fill in all of these frames with the different locations. Blender already does that automatically. So just click this button here and then press play, and you can watch your cube move through the scene. Now let's say that I wanted to rotate this cube. Well, let's go ahead and give this thing some rotation. Press I, and then we want to keep the location and rotation, so click location and rotation. And then by frame 50, by the way, you can access the next keyframe by clicking this little button here. It jumps to the next keyframe, so it's a neat little button. And then if we want to rotate this one a different direction, we could just press R and then rotate it back. Press I, then location and rotation, because remember, we're still preserving the location, but we also want to add rotation to it. And if we play back the animation, we see that we have movement and rotation. Now let's say we wanted to scale this object. Well, on frame 1, let's press S on the keyboard and slide your mouse toward the cube to scale it down some. Then press I and select location, rotation, and scale. And that's because we want to keep the item's location along with its rotation and its scale. So just click this button here, and then by frame 50 we will increase its size, and then press I, then location, rotation, and scale. If you play back the animation again, you can see our result. Now this is a kind of animation concerning location, rotation, and scaling. There are many different kinds of ways to animate on Blender. One of the common ways is to actually animate values. If I wanted to make this this cube right here, let's make it a red color. Now let's say I had wanted this to be, let's say, starting with a metallic value of 0 and then moving up to 1 over that time. Well, what I would do is I would start at 0 at frame 1. Hold my mouse over the value, press I. That adds in a keyframe. You can also click this little diamond right here. And then by frame 50, I would increase the metallic value all the way to 1, and then press the diamond again. And that would animate the value to become more metallic. And you can look at each frame, and you'll see that the value is increasing as time goes on. Interestingly, you can also change the color of this object. So at frame 1, we have red, and we press the dot here. And then at frame 50, we could change this to green, and then press the diamond. What we would see here is we would see a change of color. It's pretty neat. Now one thing that you will notice is the fact that this cube is increasing in speed and then decreases in speed. So you'll watch it kind of go faster, then slow down to a stop. Now this is because in Blender the default type of animation is set to be speeding up and then slowing down. Now you can look at this in the graph editor, which is under this little button here. We'll go to the graph editor and you can see the kind of animation it is. And you'll notice that if you look at this line here, it curves upward and then it slows down to a stop. Now if you wanted to change that, if you wanted to have the same speed the entire time, we would just click V on the keyboard and then select vector. And that makes it a straight line, and you'll notice the difference in your animation. Now personally, I believe that auto clamp is a little bit easier to use in animating objects because it's a little more smooth. For instance, if I had a cube that was moving along this path, as you see here, if it was set to vector, you can see a massive difference here. The animation is a little bit more smooth on auto-clamped. However, this certainly does not mean that vector is useless, because vector does work really well on some kinds of animations, especially when it comes down to instantly stopping or instantly going. There are a lot of uses for vector. However, auto-clamped is probably the best option when you're just starting in Blender. And so because of that, you won't even need to go to the graph editor. So this is the basics of animation in Blender. There's not much to it. It's pretty straightforward. I think you'll learn to like it pretty fast. It's relatively simple. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If y'all have any questions about it, put it in the comments. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If the video was helpful, then please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, then smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Be seeing you.